Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at situations that yield variability. Different situations can lead to data that has variability and data that does not have variability. Last week, you learned about measures of spread and measures of variability. That talks about how data points how spread out they are. The range, which is the difference between the highest and the lowest point, the interquartile range, which is the distance between the third quartile and the first quartile. That's when data sets have variability. There's different points to work with. Situations that do not have variability mean that they don't have multiple points to work with. They have one data point that always stays the same. So an example of a situation that has variability would be the number of people at a mall on a given day. A given day means any day. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be any day, and that number is always different. Now, I think the grocery store would be an even better example now due to the situation that we're in. But on a normal day, the number of people at a mall will change. Now, an example of a situation that does not have variability would be something that always stays the same, such as the number of months in a year. No matter what, it's always going to be 12. So that means this set of data would only have 1 point, 12, because there's always 12 months in the year. Now we're going to look at a few different examples and determine whether these situations yield variability or not. I'm going to give you a chance to put in an answer that you think is correct. We're going to read each situation and determine if it will result in the data with or without variability. I will mark each statement as having variability with a V or no variability with NV, but you will have a chance on your computer or your iPad to answer what you think. So the first example, which is number 6, because this is a continuation from a previous assignment, is the number of minutes during first period class at Lamar Middle School. Now, I know this one is weird to think about because we are not in our traditional setting right now. So if you think back before spring break on a normal day, not a rise up day, not an early release day, not a pep rally day, but just a normal day, the number of minutes during first period class at Lamar Middle School. Do you think that this situation has variability where it changes or no variability? This situation has no variability. And that's because first period is the same amount of minutes each day on a normal school day. Number 7, the number of school holidays in 2018. This data set also has no variability. And that's because we're talking about a specific year, a year that already happened. So no matter what, if we go back and count how many school holidays Goose Creek had in 2018, it's going to be the same number, no matter when we look back at it. Number 8, the number of people in a grocery store at 9 a.m. on a Saturday. This situation does have variability. And that's because it's talking about any Saturday at 9 a.m. So whether it's this Saturday or next Saturday or the next Saturday at 9 a.m., we will have a different amount of people at that grocery store. Number 9, the number of inches it rained over the past 3 weeks. This situation also has variability. If I asked you today how much rain there was over the past 3 weeks, that would be different than when I ask you in October or November or December, because we're always looking at the last 3 weeks, and that varies from week to week. Number 10, the number of students absent from school for the past week. Now this one's very similar to number 9. This one does have variability also because it's asking about the past week. Since each week the absences change and vary from each other, each week means that the past week will have a different number also. Number 11, the number of points scored in last Saturday's football game. Now, this situation is talking about last Saturday's football game. It's talking about a specific football game. So that means this situation has no variability. Number 12, the number of students performing in halftime shows. This situation does have variability because it's not talking about a specific halftime show. It's talking about halftime shows in general at different games and different locations. So that means the number will vary or change. Now, this gives you some examples, and this is a video that you can look back at whenever you are practicing determining if situations yield variability or not. See you next.